Steve Jewin, MMA Mania.
All right, Steve, you're on. Go ahead.
All right, Saad Awad, it's good to talk to you again. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing excellent because I just got to talk to your teammate and friend, Georgi Karakanyan, about his upcoming fight this Friday. So good timing that you two are main events back to back.
Both of us, it's going to be two exciting weekends, two main events. I mean, we couldn't have asked for anything better, right?
No, definitely you can't, other than maybe, I think, fighting for the title. That would be the only thing better, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%. That's the only thing that would have been better. But right now, for the situation we're in, I think we got the best we could have asked for.
That fight with Benson Henderson, that certainly could have put you in the catbird seat to get that title shot. Any regrets about how that fight went?
I mean, I think my only main regret is getting frustrated because I noticed when I got frustrated, I was worried more about the dirty tactics he was doing than actually fighting. And, the more I worried about stuff, the longer, the more he took from the rounds and the more he won those rounds. So, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from that. I learned a lot of my own game and my own self and just got to move forward and go on to the next one.
It kind of looked like the old Benson Henderson out there, the guy that goes out there and finds a way to win a decision on points, which not necessarily what fans want from him, but it's what he's really good at doing.
Yeah, I mean, he fought a smart fight. He fought the smartest fight he could have fought against me. You know what I mean? And I think they thought they were going to submit me, and that didn't happen. So he just went. Like you said, he won by points. I should have been a little bit busier. As busy as I could be at the time. But I think there's little adjustments I could have made that would have made a big difference in the fight. And now I know moving forward, and hopefully I won't let it happen again.
So I'm going to assume then that you've made those adjustments going into the fight with Brandon Girtz.
Of course I did, because whenever you fight somebody, you're going to look at their last fight, and that's what you usually go by, especially if they lost. And Brandon Girtz is a striker, but he's a wrestler at heart. And I've seen him go out there and just wrestle guys to get the win. And I don't see this fight being any different. I think he's going to go out there with a smart game plan and try to execute his game plan as good as he can. And if he was smart, that's what I would do if I was in his shoes. If I had a wrestling background and I was fighting myself, I'd say, hey, this guy lost because he got taken down and he got held, and that would be my game plan. So I mean, if he comes out like he normally comes out and fights the way he normally fights, then I think it's going to be a short night, and I think it's going to be a good night for me.
That would be the smart thing to do, but if the Derek Campos fight, the last one he had in the trilogy, was any example, he may not always want to do the smart thing. Sometimes he might just want to go out there and let it all hang out and deliver a show for the fans.
And I agree, and I 100% agree, and I think, that's just the Warriors code that, some of us have embedded in us, and he's one of those guys that just has that in him. You know what I mean? I don't think he's worried about too much about, protecting his record or any of that stuff, or just trying to steal a win. I think he's worried about going out there and just fighting, and that's what it usually looks like. And if he comes out there and fights the way he normally does, it's going to be it's going to be a fan fight. We're going to go out there, we're going to both duke it out, and it's going to be a great fight. But who knows? Sometimes when you're back against the wall, you have to fight smart. Benson's back was kind of against the wall when he fought me. He was in that weird position and our situation, so he needed that win, and that's why he fought the way he fought. And Girtz, on the other hand, he's almost in the same kind of situation. I don't know if he's at the end of his contract or not, but I know he is coming off a loss just like I am. And so we're both going to go out there and try to fight, to our best ability and, probably the smartest way. But I mean, I know I'm going to fight the way I know how to fight, and my style's always been the same. I never switch it up for anyone, and hopefully I'll be able to put on a great show.
Well, that's why you guys are in the main event. That's what they're expecting is a show. But it also happened because of the fact that Lorenz Larkin pulled out of his fight, which was originally going to headline the show. So how did you get the call that you were moving up to the main event?
I heard Lorenz was hurt. Lorenz is my buddy, you know what I mean? But I kind of heard from someone else, like from my manager, they said Lorenz might be hurt, So I know they're trying to work something out, see if he can still fight or something happened. So I called him directly. He said, honestly, man, he said, yeah. I don't know if I'm going to fight and blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, that's good to know, so I know. I mean, it doesn't make a difference for me. I mean, I'm still fighting the same guy. All is main event versus co-main event. So, I mean, it didn't make a difference with my trainer or anything. But I did call him directly, and he told me, things aren't going too good. He was trying to push through it, but I guess it didn't work out. And then they said, if that doesn't happen, then they're pushing me up. I said, cool, so be it, It's cool 'cause it's in my hometown, so everyone that's there can stay for the whole show.
Absolutely. You'll have the crowd support, but I think you always do anyway, because they know, as you alluded to yourself, you go out there and you fight the same way each fight, and you always go out there looking to deliver a finish and deliver excitement.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's a win-win for everyone. You know, I feel bad for Lorenz that, you know, you got to pull off the card, you know, because he is my friend. But, you know, for me, it's kind of a win-win for me. I pushed him to the main event in my hometown, and everyone's going to be excited. And I'm sure Bellator is going to love this fight. That's why they put us together. So we should go out there and put on a great fight for everyone to watch.
You know, they're loading up this card with a lot of strikers. It's not just you. You've got Daniel Strauss, Joe Schilling, David Rickles, and Sean Bunch off that big win he just came off over Joe Warren, looking like he's been reborn as a striker too.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. They definitely stacked this card, and it's not stacked with like super known people. It's stacked with a lot of California fighters, and like you said, and also Daniel. I can't even think of his name right now. You just said it.
Daniel Strauss.
Daniel Strauss. There it is with him, and he's always exciting. And Korshkov's still on the card. You know, he's not the main event, but he's still on the card, and that dude's an explosive fighter as well. So I think the fans are going to go out there. They're going to love the show, and I think you know, it's going to bring a lot of attention to it too. Not even though it's not a tent pole, but I think it's going to bring a lot of attention to the card.
I agree. It's going to be an exciting event. It's going to be, well, maybe not a tent pole, as you said, but they can't all be tent poles. So what do you think of this fact that, you know, you've been at both ends of the spectrum? You've been on the tent pole cards. You've been on the cards that are in between. What do you prefer if you have a preference?
To me, I'm fighting regardless. You know what I mean? Like sometimes they say it's a tent pole. To me, a tent pole, there's a big name on it, and then there's that walkout. That's the only difference. But at the end of the day, I'm still fighting whoever I'm fighting. You know what I mean? I have tough, I don't think they give me easy fights in Bellator. So it's not like I get an easy fight if I'm not in a tent pole versus, you know what I mean? Like, or vice versa. So whether or not I still have to fight, and it's a fight that, you know, is going to be exciting, and, it doesn't make a difference. I mean, tent pole's cool just because it has a name, and sometimes they do press conferences after, but I mean, I'm not there for the press conference. I'm there for the fight. So it doesn't make a difference for me.
Right. You know, something you just said reminded me of a comment you made earlier about fighters protecting their records. And you alluded to that with the statement that, you know, a non-tentpole show, a fighter might be protecting his record by not fighting a top guy. Do you feel like there's anybody right now in the lightweight division that could be accused of that they're just padding their record out?
Oh man, I mean, you said it. I'm not one to call out names and put people on the spot. You know, it is what it is. Some guys, you know, they go that route, and you know, you look at my record, I've never been that guy. You know, I've been thrown to the wolves since I got into Bellator, and even not too many people know, but when I fought Cyborg, I went up a weight class a week and a half notice. At the end of my contract, that was the last fight of I fought out my contract fighting Cyborg, and I was on a 1 fight losing streak. So I think I was on a 2 fight losing streak.
I think it was just one. You lost to Patricky, but then you fought Cyborg.
Yeah, exactly. And then so that fight, like talking about padding your record, I'm pretty sure not too many guys would take that fight. You know, fighting a dude like that fought at 205, and me being a 55 pounder and coming off of a loss, and at the end of your record, like I would have probably got cut had I lost that fight. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm not one of those guys that pad my record. I fight whoever they give me. And, you know, I'm not going to call out those guys. I mean, those guys know who they are. They know what they're doing. And what happens to those guys, as soon as they run into someone like me, it ends up being a short night. Or they run into someone that doesn't have a padded record, or someone that's been around. They realize that there's levels, you know, in Bellator. And everyone sees it. You know, everyone sees it. You know, some guys get built up slowly. Some guys, you know, just go out there and fight everyone. And everyone knows who those guys are, and eventually they'll run into someone that's been around, and then they get a rude awakening.
Not only that, but when you take out one of those guys, if they have a padded record and you've been a 30-plus fight veteran, that just means, okay, I knocked out the guy everybody thought was this big deal. That means I'm a contender. He's not. Exactly.
And I mean, like you said, there's some of those guys that have those padded records, and then they shoot to the front. I mean, yeah, they take those shortcuts, but then they run into someone like me, and it makes all the difference. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll run into one of those guys next, and maybe I'll get a top guy with, you know, parentheses around that next that's probably has a padded record, which I really don't mind. You know, like I said, I'll fight anyone, whoever they put in front of me, just, you know, as long as I'm getting paid. And, you know, I think I have 2 more fights on my contract. So I think after this one, I'll be able to renegotiate and, maybe put some deals in that contract to keep me busy and, give me a title shot.
I think that's worthwhile. They should, because you just came off a 4-fight win streak before you fought Benson Henderson. So I think your negotiating strength is pretty high at the moment.
I think so too, man. I really think so. So I think I really got to go out there and, put a frenzy in this fight and, get some people excited about me fighting again and then go out there and sit at that negotiating table and see what comes to the table.
As for Brandon Girtz, he's got to be thinking that as well. And you alluded to the fact that he lost his last fight, you lost your last fight, but Girtz has more pressure on him because he's lost 4 of his last 5 and you've won 4 out of your last 5. So his back is really against the wall if he wants to negotiate.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And that's what makes me think he's gonna come out even hungrier. You know what I mean? Like I said, I mean, I hate to go back to like one of my fights, but like if I go back to that strike, hold on one second. Hold on.
Sure.
Hey, I'm gonna turn this off. You better stop. Lay down. Lay down. So going back to Cyborg, I mean, that was a fight that my back was definitely against the wall. I basically when you have nothing to lose, or when you have everything to lose, or basically nothing to lose and everything to lose and everything to gain, sometimes you fight with a different attitude. And I mean, he always fights that way, and I kind of always fight that way, but it'll definitely give you a little push. I think you're going to see probably the best out of both of us coming into this fight with, you know, being in kind of the position we're in. I mean, yeah, I was on a 4-fight winning streak. Yeah, he lost, you know, 4 out of his last 5, but look at the losses that he fought. Look at the guys he's fought, and look at the weights he's lost them. It's not like he went out there and got his ass whooped. He went out there and fought like a gangster. So, I mean, either way, you know, I think the fans win in this fight. You know, it's either going to be a short night or it's going to be a long night. And it's going to be a long, crazy night for the both of us.
Yeah, short night, long night, fun fight either way. So something we can all agree on and look forward to here at Bellator 219. But Saad, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you got a lot going on over there. So in closing, any plugs, any shout outs, any mentions you want to throw out?
Oh, man, you're good. You're good, man. It's just my little girl. Whenever I get on the phone, she's a little bit funny. My wife was in the middle of something, so she wasn't able to get her. But no, man, I'm good, man. Always good to talk to you. You know, just looking forward to this fight. You know, I just brought on a new sponsor to the table, which is Route 66 meat company, meat delivery company. They have grass-fed beef. They came by, they sponsored me for this fight, and then they kind of hooked me up for a long time. You know what I mean? So it's a pretty cool company. If you get a chance, check them out. They do delivery and home meats and stuff. And you know, shout out to all my training partners and to my training partner Georgie fighting this Friday. You know, he's going to go out there. He's going to make a statement. He's going to put himself right into the title contention after he, you know, revenge this loss that he has coming on next. And, you know, shout out to all the guys that helped me. You know, Arnold Jimenez, he's been a big help this camp. Coach Cal, Juan, everybody out there that's been helping and stuff. And, just looking forward to put on the show, man. It's getting close, and I can't wait to go out there and get my hand raised.
Yeah, I know it's going to be a great show for you, and it's going to be a very fun fight for Georgie, too. I hope you both do well, and I'm looking forward to 2 back-to-back weekends of explosive main events. So, Saad, as always, thank you for the time.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
You too.
Thanks, Ron.
And thank you, Dan, as well.
Yep. Thanks, Steve.
Yep. Bye.